let's warm up head to toe. Start with the head, legs nice and wide, so we've got a wide base, and let's circle the head. So after we've warmed up the neck a little bit, we're going to work it with 10, just as a random number for repetition for our mobility. Sometimes we need to know how many repetitions we're going to go for so that we can pace ourselves. Nothing about going to our edge right on the first or second round. If anywhere along your neck feels a little bit tight, do place your hand there. It's just a bit comforting, a little bit reassuring, a bit of support from the hand if you need it. And when you're ready, let's change directions. Try and soften the jaw, soft shoulders. We're nearly ready to move on to a focus of the shoulders, where we'll be retracting and protracting the shoulders. 10 rounds. So head stacked over the ribs. We take the shoulders forwards and back. So we've got maybe 10 sets of this movement, thinking about our range of movement. We'll gradually, without having to go to our edge, go a little bit deeper forwards and backwards. Start to breathe a little bit deeper. Always good to have a bit of extra oxygen pumping around the body. Try to think a smile if there's not an outward smile there yet. A little bit of warmth now coming into the shoulders. Last couple in this movement, forwards and backwards. So stretching the shoulder blades apart and then stretching the chest open wide. So working those counters, and then same sort of pattern but up and down. So let's keep the shoulders back and down. Just for good practice and form, let's keep a nice neutral spine, arms back and then sliding up and down. So this is with the shoulders back and down, then up. So elevation, depression of the shoulders in this nicely open position. If we have the palms facing forwards, it just encourages to keep the shoulders more open. So maybe 10 rounds. So the shoulder blades are just gliding up and down a wall behind you. If you're standing against the wall, just shuffling up and down, just feeling that movement, reaching into the fingertips just to help that release in the tops of the shoulders and lifting up high, low. Roughly 10, getting a bit of warmth into the body. Any movement to the head now, just make it your own. But try to avoid or notice as the shoulders starting to creep forwards. Let's try to keep that lovely position. So while we're warming up the shoulders, let's just think about the position in the chin so that we're not getting this neck, chin in towards the neck, unless you're wanting to add a little bit of movement into the head. Last couple, and then let's roll out the shoulders forwards, up, back and down with the palms up, elbows into the waist. Bend the knees forwards, up, shoulders back and down. Twice more. Breathe in and out. Last time, breathe in and soften the shoulders down. Just have a little sway, shaking out any tension there. A little bit of space created now in the upper body joints, and a gentle twist of the spine. Okay, hands on the hips, let's circle the hips. Pause at any point that feels a little bit tight, probably the hamstrings. We're not doing 10 hula hoops, we'll be here for tomorrow, so just till tomorrow. Let's just take a couple in each direction, and then we'll change in direction. For roll down and roll up, I'm going to say if it's a continuous movement, we're going to take 5 in a very straight plumb line position, 5 in a zigzag so that we work up the spine. We change direction in the hips, and otherwise just take it slowly and feel your way through that flexion of the spine, articulation of the spine. So that means feet hip distance apart. We can either just feel a gentle flow down, and then rebuilding the spine, rolling the shoulders back and down, lovely in open position. Keep going here, directly down over the toes and rebuilding. Or if you know you need to give your spine a bit more time to get that mobility, articulation through the spine going a little bit slower. So the 5 of these is only a guide. Maybe it's better for you just to do 1. Always try to come to a nice upright position at the top. Quite nice to run the hands down the backs of the legs in the roll down. So you just have that neuromuscular feedback. So the next 5 or fewer if you're going slow with a zigzag. So more of a zigzag in your lowering down to the floor. So just working mobility and stretch to the side of the body, snaking your way back up. Breathing deeply. Being a little bit freer in the roll down, maybe legs a little wider apart. This is just all about spine mobility. And wherever you are, let's make this our last. Roll up through the spine. Okay, ankles, weight into the left foot with the right foot. If you can, we're going to work wrists and ankles at the same time. Hands out, shoulders back and down, tilt the pelvis. And we lift fingertips and toes up to the ceiling and then press down. Breathe in and lift. Breathe out and press. If you need to hold on to a wall, use your left hand so that you can then work the left wrist when we are on the other leg. Breathe in and lift. Breathe out. Spread the fingers now. Open wide and lift as high as you can go, arms straight, and breathe out. Now, in a normal flat position with the hands, turn the toes and the fingers to the side. Center, side. So side to side movement in the ankle and the wrists. Last of all, the circle, big circle with the wrists and the ankles. I know that standing leg, maybe screaming at you. It will cope. Other direction with the wrist and the ankle, and then we'll switch legs. You're doing well. Shake out, wrist, the leg, and then let's switch sides. Plant the foot. We go for lifting, flexing, and extending. First of all, lifting the toes, the fingers, pressing down. So this will give you an opportunity to work the other hand if you are holding onto a wall or a chair. Don't worry, we're not worrying about your balance here, just mobility into the wrist. If you do lots of typing or you don't move the wrists very much, let's just keep that mobility, spreading the fingers. And then side to side, so swiveling the hands, just the palms, though you're just polishing a very small area. Side to side. And then all the way around. Couple of times in each direction. It's good strengthening for your standing ankles. So unless there's any pain, the wrong pain, try and breathe through it. So we've changed direction with the wrists and the ankles. Now we're going to give them a shake. All right, moving on. We're going to just have a check-in with our plumb line, our alignment, feet hip distance apart, so really under the hips. Tilt the pelvis so we get some length through the tailbone, rolling shoulders back and down. Chin tucked in towards the chest. This is just balancing where the weight of the skull is so we're not overstraining the neck. We're going to take up in a waterfall movement with the arms, and you can add a yoga lion if you wish it. Great for cleansing. So we'll swing the arms back as we bend the knees. The legs straighten, arms behind you. Then we bend the knees and come up into the chest. We breathe in. As we breathe out, sink back into the heels. And as we breathe in, we're standing up and back to the beginning. So feeling that plumb line reset. So swing back, swing forwards to your chair. Breathe in to lengthen through the tailbone. Breathe out, sink into the heels. And breathe in, imprinting the floor with the feet. And off we go. Breathe out. Breathe in, breathing out, deepen, breathing in, return. So it's hopefully getting the heart rate going a little bit, working on the larger muscle groups. Working through the whole body where we're thinking about resetting at the end of each set. Into this nice upright position, neutral spine. So carry on, let's have, we're probably on about 6 more of these. Keep the knees tracking over the toes, but still able to see the toes. Don't worry if you're not in time with me. Try to work with the breath. So there is a breath for each phase of the movement. We breathe in, standing tall. We breathe out to swing back. We breathe in to chair. We breathe out to deepen. We breathe in tall. Also, I think makes it feel a little bit more manageable if we've just got one phase of breath. Sometimes we can hold the chair, the Utkatasana, and it just feels intolerable. So just working with the breath, just to feel a little bit more deepness, depth, deepness. That's not a thing, is it? Wherever you are, let's do 2 more rounds. It's fine that you're getting warmer. Wherever you are, last one. Now, as we sink back, can we all meet in a chair? Float the hands down to the hips, step the left foot back into a high lunge. The heels lifted, tilt the pelvis, and lift the left arm. So left arm back, left arm lifted. Tilt the tailbone down towards the floor and reach up to the ceiling. Now, if you're on the other arm, don't worry, but we're going to spin the back heel down and take a reverse warrior. This front knee is going to stay bent. Are we ready? Back, stroke the arm down and lower the heel of the back foot. Lift your front arm and reach up and over. So after all that continuous movement, the flow, we're just giving our body a little bit of a recovery breath or few here, reaching into the fingertips as the knee charges forwards. I'll turn to the side, stay in the same position. We're taking extended side angle. So, front hand to the front knee and reaching up and over. So all we've done is from our chair to a lunge, to a reverse warrior, to an extended side angle. Pause and enjoy this stretch. Find a stretch in the front of the hip by tilting the pelvis, pressing the little toe into the floor and reaching into the fingers. Try not to collapse here, but keep the shoulder down. To come out, we'll lower the hands to the knee, lift your back heel and step forward. So we do a flow to the other side. Swoop the arms up to a chair, sink low, can still see the toes. Right leg, foot steps back, knee and toes pointing forwards. Find that tilt, that yummy stretch for the hip flexors and reach your right arm or corresponding arm to that back leg up and over. I like to use the spare hand to help guide the tailbone down to the floor. We can sink a little bit lower by deepening the bend in this front knee. Enjoy. So we can help our balance by thinking ahead. A back stroking movement with the top arm. Your back heel lowering to the floor, maybe roughly 90-degree angle to the position of the front foot. Are we ready? So back stroke, heel lowers, hand down the back leg. Keep this front knee forwards. It will want to collapse in. We're reaching up and over. Here's your recovery breath. Hold this position. Knees tracking, front knee tracking over the toes. Bottom tucked, grip the floor with the feet. Your front knee over the ankle. Stretch to the side of the body. And then to the other side of the body. So the extended side angle, the lower body staying the same. We're just maybe getting an extra inner thigh stretch and reaching up and over. Nice deep breath in and out of the nose. Squeeze the glutes. Enjoy this. We're taking 2 sets, flowing. Now you know the order. All right, so to come out, stay where you are a second. We'll lower the back hand, lift your back heel and step to the front. All right, so it's a waterfall back, up, deepen, and then lunge. So we'll be stepping left foot back again. Let's go. Swing back, swing forwards, find your Utkatasana. Sink a little bit low as you breathe out. We're stepping the right foot back, heel lifts. Spin the back heel down, take a reverse warrior. Reach into the fingers, your back hand on the thigh or the calf, wherever it reaches. Extended side angle, reach up and over. Open the chest to the ceiling, open your front knee to the front. Stack the hands over your front knee, lift the back heel, and step forwards, other side. Flow back, and swing up. Weight into the heels. As you breathe out, sinking a little bit lower. Right leg, step back. Now, back stroke. Take a reverse warrior. Stretch. Find spaces in all the joints. Extended side angle. Reaching up and over, turning the chest to the ceiling. Stack the hands over the front knee. Lift the back heel. Last set, let's go. Breathe in. As we lift into our chair. Feel solid here. Tilt the pelvis. We'll step your right leg back, spin onto the back foot, reach over. Into an extended side angle. Stack the hands, lift the back heel, step forwards, your other leg. Swing back, chair, sink. For me, it's the left leg, back stroke, reverse warrior. Into an extended side angle. Stack the hands, lift the back heel, and return. Have a little shake out of the legs. Brilliant. We're coming down to all fours. So when you're ready, roll down. Where can you see me? Great. So we'll start with a simple cat-cow for now. Release your toes, feet, ankles, hip distance apart. Breathe in and look up. Now we can keep the gaze down. It's like the chest shining forwards, stretching the front of the body. And then rounding as we breathe out, lifting the navel, stretching the back of the body. Just have a go at how much movement you want to add into the head. I think sometimes I maybe even encourage you to look all the way up, but let's not worry about how high the head lifts, more about getting a stretch from the pubic bone up to the neck. Last round, and then we're taking hip circles. So don't try to not get too concerned about where the arms are here, just this hips drawing a circle on the floor. The arms, you'll end up almost drawing like a figure eight with the head. But if you overthink it, we overcomplicate it. So keep it nice and easy, where we're letting the head, shoulders go wherever they want to. See if you can keep the arms pretty much straight, but you can sway forwards and backwards as those circles get a little bit bigger. Let's think of it being like a spirograph. Remember those where the circles get bigger and bigger, but maybe just adjusting a little bit on one corner so it just changes the pattern slightly. And in the other direction. So the head can just simply hang here. There's no benefit to holding it in a stressed particular position. It's best to just let it dangle, and you can concentrate on that movement in the hips. Twice more, drawing a big circle. And then we're coming to a knee lunge. A little bit of strengthening to support mobility in the ankle and the knee. So I'm going to step my right foot forwards. Knee lunge. Now if I hold my knee and then charge it forwards, it's only briefly coming over the ankle, so that's fine. I'm not over bearing down weight there. Then slightly to the side, but holding and supporting the knee. Don't force. You're not trying to go to your edge. Just encouraging a little bit more movement, and then to outside a little bit of the little toe. So those three movements, we come over the knee. We want to do that each time so that we're encouraging nice movements where it's balanced, our use of muscles, so we're supporting the knee and the ankle. We hold the knee and guide it slightly, big toe side. And little toe side. So it's not a big movement. Of course, if we ever are on unsteady ground, we need that little bit of leeway in the knee, so coming center, the strength in those most stabilizing muscles of the ankle and the knee. We need to be able to go a little bit off center sometimes. So a few more rounds following those three positions, you may start to get a bit of warmth into your quads. I do like you to hold your knee, at least with one hand, maybe you need the other to stabilize you on the floor. But so that we're never overloading the ankle or the knee, we've got that support at all times with the hand. Your own pace, definitely not overdoing it, just feeling those 3 points. One more set of all three, and then we'll take a hamstring stretch. You're getting a bit more warmth around your knee and ankle. Try and keep your foot imprinted. All right, that leg, let's give the knee and the ankle a rest. You might need to adjust your heel forwards a little bit, and we'll fold. So here, if that was interesting for the knee, it might be something that you try now and then. It's a great way of building mobility and strength into the ankle and the knee. I'll allow you another recovery breath here in this hamstring fold, and then we'll take those movements into the other leg. Are you ready? All right, switch legs. Maybe switch directions. So your other leg, in that knee lunge, support the knee to come over the toes briefly. We're not holding, so that we're not weight bearing unhelpfully. Slightly to one side, slightly to the other side. So I like to think of the Pilates where we go straight over the toes, that nice balanced use of muscles that really supports the joints as being as clearing a line, a path through a forest. So it's just clearing, parting the trees, so we have that strength in nice, mindful, helpful movements. But then we have to deviate a little bit for, life takes us off the straight and narrow. So we need to just have that flexibility, mobility in the joints to be able to see us through those little deviations. So while you're going here, you maybe want to close your eyes and just make this quite a calming, meditative flow. We're just keeping a nice, easy movement, making sure you pull back. If there's any twinges, we shouldn't feel any niggles here at all. You're fully supporting the knee in this movement, continuously moving, so it's all really helpful for the body as long as we're being kind to the joints. And so one more round. And then let's take a hamstring stretch. So lift the toes, enjoy a stretch of the back of the legs, let the head dangle, massage the back of the leg. Sometimes it's good to have some blocks handy for times like this if you need to bring the floor up to meet your hands. Enjoy last 2 breaths here. And then we're going to move on to a little quad stretch after all that little work. We'll take that mermaid position. I'll jump ahead to the next one. This position, so let's swing the legs over to the right. Come back onto that left hand and swivel and lift the hips, so we're looking for a stretch down the front of the thigh. If that's just not even touching the side, you may need to recline and take a bigger stretch, so we're going from the knee all the way up the thigh. Breathe, you can use the foot, your top foot pressing on the top of the thigh to give you a little bit more leverage, and we're thinking length, so pull your chest, your ribs away from the knee, and breathe. We're over to the other side until you're mentally prepared. We're taking the Pilates 100. Find your stretch on the other leg. And then we've got this full body mobility, continuous flow, which is essentially like coming into a fetal position and opening up to a star and a fetal position on the other side. And it's all on the floor and it just feels yummy for the whole body. So let's just first of all get that lovely stretch in the front of the thigh. Go as deep into it as you need to get a little bit more stretch and release. Hundreds, can't put it off any longer. So we've either got a curl up in the head, neck and shoulders, arms by the side, legs lifted, tabletop, feet on the floor, head on the floor. Find your version. No strain and pulsing vigorously. Are we ready? And breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, palms up, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 50. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug the knees into the chest and have a little rock on the spine. The last one for the core before we do our closing mobility stretch out. We're coming into a tabletop. Press the hands into the thighs and feel your navel, the lower spine imprinting into the mat. Shoulders back and down, chin into the chest. Now we can either work on pressing the thighs into the hands into the thighs, isometrically strengthening those deep core muscles. Keep the pelvis tilted here. So really reducing maximally that gap in the lower spine. Chin tucked. Either stay here, or we can then start to add on a movement into one leg. I'm still pressing on one thigh, and then you resist the knee coming in. We press into the thigh, the leg resists, and the hand resists the return. So let's keep the chin tucked into the chest, the lower spine imprinting into the mat. We're slowly, with control, moving one leg at a time without disturbing that position in the lower spine. Shaking spine, muscular effort, maxing out here. We don't have many rounds now. I've got that lovely release stretch for you. If you're finding your spine's arching, extend the legs more overhead. And this is fine. Keep that pressure. It's good for strengthening your arms. Let's have the last 2 sets. You create your own resistance on the thighs. And I'll finish so I can explain to you. So our fetal position, take the body stretch from behind if you need to. We'll come into this curled up position on one side. And it's like we're rolling onto the back, straightening. And we come via this big star shape, rolling over. So we're trying to maintain contact with the floor. So you can then see this is mobility in the neck, shoulders, all the joints are working. This big, lovely yawn stretch wide. My mat's going all over the place. We'll roll onto the side. So you'll see here, if you can take it at your own pace, we're in the last minute of our session. So just enjoy this. Your head never leaves the mat. We're rolling side to side. If you have niggles in your shoulders, you may not want to straighten the arms overhead, but try to find a supported position where you can move continuously, slowly, and start to feel heaviness in the body. So it feels almost like you're melting and spreading, and then closing in. If you feel you've got a bit of a flow, you might be able to coincide this big star position with an in-breath, and then the breath out is that closing, drawing everything in. I think we've probably got time for 2 more rounds, and then we're all joined sitting up to roll out the shoulders. Last one, big stretch, open wide, spread the fingers, spread the toes all the way into your crouch. And then open up, hold behind the knees and rock up to sitting. Have a couple of rolls of the shoulders. And hopefully, oops.